Hi, I'm Willa Kaiser. I'm the director of the Caduceus Institute of Classical Homeopathy. And there's a lot of different things around these days that call themselves homeopathy. And I realize it sometimes leads to some confusion about what is homeopathy, and in particular, what we teach in our program, classical homeopathy. So I just want to review the three main principles of classical homeopathy. The first principle is what we call like cures like, or otherwise known as the law of similars. And the way that this was discovered was over 200 years ago. Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, who was the founder of homeopathy, was a very brilliant physician, but he had stopped practicing medicine because he felt like the medicines he was using were actually doing more harm than good. So he was working as a translator. He knew many European languages and was translating medical texts. And in one of the medical texts, he read that quinine bark was helpful for malaria, known as intermittent fever, because it was bitter. And he said, that doesn't really make any sense to me. So he tried taking some quinine bark himself and discovered that he developed chills and fever from quinine bark, which is what it cures. It's actually a medicine for malaria, and actually a derivative of it is used to this day for malaria. So he developed the idea that like cures like. This is actually a very ancient idea. It's called the law of similars, taking a substance that would cause a certain set of symptoms in a healthy person, giving it to a sick person, and that person getting cured. So that is the main principle of homeopathy, like cures like. And that's what the word homeopathy means. Homeo means similar, and pathy to the disease. So we're giving a remedy that is similar to the disease. And the idea behind that is that we're actually helping the vital force, the body's energy, to do what it's trying to do, helping it do its job instead of suppressing it and working against it. So that is the main principle of homeopathy, like cures like. The next principle that is important in classical homeopathy and was very much emphasized by Hahnemann is that we only give one remedy at a time. An energy, which you'll find out in the next slide and the next principle, is an energy medicine. And so we do our provings, we find out what these different remedies do one at a time. So we'll do these provings, which are basically giving remedies to healthy people to see what it does, and then knowing that that's what it will help in a sick person. It's just done on one remedy at a time. So in classical homeopathy, we only give one remedy at a time. And yes, you can now go to your local Whole Foods, CVS, everywhere, and find things that are called homeopathic, and they might be remedies that are potentized, but they generally, unless they're single remedies, they contain combinations of remedies. And Hahnemann was completely against this, and classical homeopaths do not use these combination remedies. We just give one remedy at a time. And the final principle that is very important is the dynamization of remedies, basically releasing their energy. So what Hahnemann found is that many of the substances that were used in medicine at that time, and continues to this day, were toxic in material doses. So he developed a system of dilution and succussion, or basically putting the remedy in water and then shaking it to release the energy into the water. And so our remedies are actually energy medicines, more similar to acupuncture or energy healing than to a pharmaceutical drug, even though you will find them on small white pellets. There's a whole process that's described in The Organon of Medicine, which is the book that Hahnemann wrote about defining the principles of classical homeopathy. So in any case, we're working with an energetic medicine, and that is another main principle of classical homeopathy. So I hope you enjoyed learning about these main principles. There's a lot more to learn, and we study the organon of medicine in detail in our program. And I also have some other videos that go into much more detail on my YouTube channel. So thank you for listening, and hope to see you next time.